Aloha! How you doing? Gerdo the Texar here. Welcome to Hibachi Talk. I want to thank Zuri and Nick for once again helping us start this show off and get it correct. I got Papi Chulo in the house today. Nice to see you, bud. So Papi's filling in for Andrew, who's off touring the world like he always does. I mean, I'd like to get his miles, man. He's always flying. Anyway, so we have a great guest today. We have Derek Gabriel. I remember him when he was nothing. Now he's almost something. So anyway, Derek's going to be on the show. Great guy. And he's a great example of when you have a desire to start in an industry like tech, or whatever you're in, and then he starts moving up and working his way up. So it's been really cool to watch him grow, and he's a starter, so it's great to see where he's at now and where he's going to be in the future.
Self-starter.
Self-starter.
So he's somebody now.
Not somebody now.
Okay.
So anyway, we had a big celebration yesterday.
What happened yesterday?
Yeah, well, look at your eyes.
Oh, yeah. Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. It was Cinco de Mayo yesterday.
Cinco de Mayo.
And there's a lot of misinformation about Cinco de Mayo out there, right?
Right. Even you, old studious one. Old, not old.
Yeah, and studious is very, suspect.
Yeah.
Anyway, so a lot of people think that Cinco de Mayo is like Mexican independence. It's not.
Negative.
No, so what is it?
Cinco de Mayo was when the Mexican army defeated the French army on May 5th during the Battle of Puebla.
In the 1800s.
Easy. Not to be confused with 4th of July, because the real Mexican Independence Day is September 16th.
And a lot of people think that Cinco de Mayo is September 16th.
Or or whatever, Mexican Independence Day, but no, it's not.
It's not.
And some people even believe it, the Mexicano people think, or they know it's also known as a Labor Day.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's also like considered Labor Day.
Oh, so it's your celebration of Labor Day. Like, what's ours is September, U.S. is September 4th.
I don't know, I never get the day off.
Yeah, me neither. September 4th, Canada celebrates Labor Day on September 4th weekend. And so it's not Independence Day, and it's not drinking tequila day.
No. And
it's not, Buenos Nachos Day.
No.
It's
wrong. It's just another day where the Mexican army defeated the French army for the Battle of Puebla.
And so, but why do you think it became famous?
It's a good question.
I don't know either. I just thought of it now.
I guess everybody, Donald Trump and his Mexican followers wanted to have a reason to party.
There you go. I heard he's reached out to you to be one of his spokespersons.
No, he did not.
I thought he had.
But I'm thinking of building ladders.
Going into the ladder business?
Yeah, why not? 14-foot ladders for the 12-foot wall.
Well, okay, perfect. You're there. Every time we do this show together, it just goes so sideways. Anyway, I got my segment, got one tech job.
All right.
Okay, so here's, this is obviously not the Mexican army defeating the Battle of Puebla, right?
No.
This is kind of like, we're talking about tech, and this is, I think North Korea has really decided to take this step up a bar, right? So they're going to come after us really hard. Since they had a few of their launches blow up and so on, they're equipping all of their military with the state-of-the-art technology to go after the South Koreans. So you not got one tech job, and you actually got no idea what's going on. Anyway, so that's got one tech job for the day. So I also have, I usually do a thing on news, bring up what's happening in the news segment. Let me check here. So if you had your iPhone hacked, by the way, I just checked this. Make sure you haven't had that happen to you. What do you think about that, by the way? The FBI and the whole thing on that.
I don't know. I'll be lucky it turns on every day.
Yeah. Do you really care?
I don't really give a rat's, but...
Yeah, I don't care either. It doesn't matter to me. Just come take it. Whatever.
I'm just me.
So anyway, the federal government, which you are very familiar with, they're prepping for a big cybersecurity buying spree. So they're looking to improve cybersecurity, taking shape in independent contracting opportunities for people like, Derek. So try doing government work. He can talk about what his experience working with government. So they're doing a lot of work in that area. The GSA has asked that vendors respond by in a very short period of time. So they're going to get into the cybersecurity business. It's about time. Little late. So anyway, that's it. Hey, by the way, now changing gears. Do you remember this product called QuickTime? QuickTime. It ran on your computer. Was a thing that anyway, if you still have it, get rid of it because it's been identified as having a major vulnerability. So a lot of people were using QuickTime over the decades. I mean, it's been around for a long time. So QuickTime for Windows, if you have it on your machine, you got to delete it. It's no longer supported, but it's a huge gap in a way to get into your system. So just something for people to know of. So Microsoft sued the DOJ.
Why?
The Department of Justice.
Why?
Why? Why, you ask?
Yeah.
Why? That's a great question. So anyway, they filed a suit a couple of weeks ago challenging the gag orders on accompanying requests to access customers' data. So here's
okay. The backdoor stuff?
It's like, so they decide they're going to, the DOJ says, we need to look at your computer. And they go to Microsoft and say, okay, we want to go in, get in the back doors, whatever, and we want to start checking what you got going on. But Microsoft says, okay, we'll help you with that, but you need to let you know. So there's the position, right? So what do you think? If the DOJ is going to go in and look at what's on your computer, and Microsoft's going to be doing that for them, should you be notified?
Of course.
Yes, of course. And so that's and so.
Do I have a say? I don't know.
Right now you don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, right now you do not. So there's a plan afoot to say that Microsoft. So it's interesting. Microsoft is now filing lawsuits against the government. Supposedly the government filing lawsuits against people like Apple to get into your iPhone and all this kind of stuff. So really kind of neat. That's an interesting. I'm gonna watch that one. IRS cybersecurity failings. What was that?
Two words. IRS and failings.
I know. So anyway,
oxymoron.
Moron is in there for sure. The state committee was doing an investigation in the IRS, and they heard a litany of IRS cybersecurity failings. Now, I can speak to this from personal experience, having my federal income tax return hacked twice. So my federal tax return has been hacked twice. It's caused me unbelievable amount of grief to the point where I've got states that I never worked in coming after me for past due taxes in states that I never ever worked, saying they're gonna take over my real estate property in California, which I have none, and so I'll go for it. It's all yours. But every time this happens to me as a result of that federal hack, it costs me money to prove to them that I did not work in that state. I have to go to the Social Security Administration, fill out a form, pay over $100 to get that form authenticated, to send it to the IRS tax office to say that I did not work in that state. So you said it, right?
Wow.
Oxymoron. So anyway, so there's a big investigation going in, and there's been billions of dollars of false returns filed and refunds given to people that were not entitled or maybe did not exist. So anyway, that's another one being investigated. So that happened. You got to have a comment on this. Remember the Panama Papers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't that cool?
That's pretty cool.
The Panama Papers, for those that may or may not know about it, I'm sure everybody must know about it, was the organization that released all of these offshore investments.
The funny thing, they said at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, funny, nobody in the audience was present on that list, but I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, at the list, on that list.
Yeah.
So, wait, say that again? So
the
anyone that was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner
were not on that list.
Was not on the Panama list. But if you were on the Panama list, you couldn't go to the dinner?
No, I don't know about that.
Well, see,
but they weren't in the audience.
They weren't in the audience.
Right.
Yeah. So, and by the way, if anyone hasn't seen that White House dinner roast, you do have to watch it. It is off the scale. It's like unbelievable. Anyway, the Panama Papers. So there's just came out today. The organization or the individual that actually got the information and passed all of that information on has agreed to come out in the open. And but he, she, or it, or them want to make sure that they are free of anonymous, free of persecution or prosecution. So those kinds of things. So there's a lot of things happening in that space. That's one I think we should really watch, because was it the President Weissland? He stepped down.
Right.
He stepped down quickly too.
Oh, yeah.
I was like within a week. He moved up fast. So apparently what's happening now is a lot of Chinese officials are getting a little nervous. Who didn't think that they were out there? So the Chinese officials are having to get a little worried. So there's a whole lot of things happening in that space. I think it's kind of cool.
Right.
So I'm gonna start digging a little deeper into that one, kind of like how I do with my Bitcoin stuff and so on. So anyway, so that was it. You have Adobe on your PC at home
Yeah.
to read PDF files? Well, you better make sure you've got your updates in. I found another huge hole. So ransomware attacks. You heard about the ransomware attacks, right? Where they come in, they encrypt all of your files on your computer, and then you pay a ransom to give you the key.
That is crazy.
It's crazy. So there's another one that someone got sent to me the other day there. It was, you could tell it was fake, but for someone who's a novice, you could possibly fall for it and click that link. So anyway, there's a Adobe Flash Player. You've got to make sure you've got that current up to date, because there's another way of getting in. Ransomware, if you haven't seen it, they take over your computer, all your files. If you're a business, all your business files, they encrypt them, and then you pay a ransom for them to give you the key to unlock all those files. Now, in my experience, I've been called in to help in a couple of these situations, and actually have had to pay the ransomware to get the key so that we could open it. Unfortunately, they've been able to get the key and open them up.
Wow.
But if they, the firms had not done backups, and we tell everybody, and they hadn't tested whether their backups worked, and had done recoveries, and here they were sitting on literally years worth of data that they could not get access to, folders and files and all kinds of things.
Shame.
So they've gotta watch out for that one. So again, QuickTime, get it off. Adobe, make sure you always keep that current. And also, you got to be really careful on the Adobe side. There are some spoofers out there that try to fake and look like Adobe, and they're not. So you got to make sure you go to the true Adobe site and take care of it there. So that's another one that's happening. So then the White House is opening doors to open source. So Derek might be able to talk to us about open source, because he's a big guy in that space. So the federal government wants to get into more of the open source programming protocol.
What's open source?
Well, it's the freeware. It's free freeware that you can use to write code. You can develop applications and systems. I mean, Derek's going to be able to give us a big update on some of the stuff he's doing, I think, in that space. So they released details on proposed policies for open source within the federal government space. They're going to be looking for a lot of professionals coming in to help them with that kind of business. So it's going to be pretty good. I think that's it's a way moving forward. My big concern is there's a lot of pre-built systems already that have been around for a long time, have a lot of money and backing in them, and they can and they work well. There's some people that are under the impression they can come in and write it all over again. It's kind of like, oh, wait, you know what? I think I can write a payroll system. So you imagine the payroll system for the federal government, how complicated that must be.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do it every time.
Every day. So what have you got? You've got the military, private sector.
Right.
You've got unions.
Right.
I mean, the list goes on and on. So how complicated could that possibly be? And so, there's our systems that are in place. Now, for someone to come in and open source and say, you know what, I'm so smart, I can rewrite that entire thing using some open source protocols and processes, ain't going to happen. And so I've seen some of that starting to happen in this local area where there's systems in place within government that are not broken, and they're saying, you know what, we can save a couple of grand a year if we were to go and do this, rewrite this all again in open source. And then my comment is going to be, and who's going to maintain it after it's been rewritten? What civil servant or contractor or whatever. So that's happening in that space. Anyway, we did the news. We give the history on Cinco de Mayo, which is not Mexican Independence Day. And then we're going to go get Angus. He has a gadget. And he has a new segment on, you have to figure out the Scottish word of the day. We haven't put you through that agony yet. And then we're going to bring Derek on to talk about what it's like to be a startup and coming into the future. Anyway, Guerrilla Techs are here, and we'll be back in about a minute.
You're watching Think Tech Hawaii, 25 talk shows by 25 dedicated hosts every week, helping us explore and understand the the issues and events in and affecting our state. Great content for Hawaii from ThinkTech.
Aloha, my name is Justina Spiritu, and I'm the co-host of Hawaii Farmers Series. This is my co-host, Matthew Johnson, and you can catch us every Thursday at 4 p.m. at thinktechhawaii.com. What do we talk about, Matt?
So on Hawaii Farmers Series, we're going to be bringing on the farmers and also supporter of farmers, including restaurants, caterers, as well as government supporters and nonprofits to hear their background stories and understanding our local ag community just a little bit better.
Yeah, essentially, there's a lot more that goes into farming and the local food community beyond just producing the food. And we want to feature and get the background story on all these folks and see how we all work together as a community. So join us every Thursday. Aloha.
Aloha, my name is Reg Baker, and I'm the host of Business in Hawaii with Reg Baker. Business in Hawaii is a program that talks about the positive stories in Hawaii. We're tired of hearing all the negativity. We don't want to hear about all the downside. We want to hear positive stories about business in Hawaii, and that's what Business in Hawaii is all about. We broadcast live every Thursday at 2 o'clock. Go to livestream.com for that live broadcast, and we also rebroadcast on Olelo 54 and OC 16. We look forward to seeing you on the show. Take care, and we'll see you next week. Aloha.
Hi, I'm Donna Blanchard. I'm the host of Center Stage here on Think Tech Hawaii. I hope that you will tune in and watch the show. It is inspiring and uplifting and educational also. We talk with artists of all different ilk. We talk with them about what they do, how they do it, and most importantly, most dear to my heart, why they do it. And it never ceases to be fascinating when you get the answer to that question. I hope you'll join us on Center Stage, 2 o'clock Wednesday afternoons. Aloha.
Hola, welcome back, and it's time to get a nice Angus burger. And if you want a best burger by Angus, who better than Mr. Angus himself?
What are you talking about there, lad? Angus. Anyway, happy Cinco de Mayo. Let me practice my Spanish.
Okay.
Buenos nachos. I take a double order. Anyway, this. How you doing there, Papi Chulo?
Pretty good.
Great
Thanks.
to
Nice
see
to
you, lad.
Nice
Great
to see you and your blue eyes.
Yeah, I know. Aren't they beautiful? Anyway, I got my shirt on here from Deborah Sass, and she gave me the shirt, and I'm still wearing it today. Anyway, I got a gadget, and then I also got the Scottish word of the day. But first, we'll do the gadget. The gadget will be first. And so it's called push bullet.
Push bullet.
Yeah, and don't you even say a word. I know what you're thinking there, lad, and just, nothing. Hey, push,
Silencio.
Silencio. Yeah, hey, what is the day? Silencio. Anyway, so this is a really cool app. You know what it does? You get all your notifications on your mobile phone.
Right.
Well, this one, it runs on your computer. And all your mobile phone apps, notifications come up on your computer.
Wow.
So you don't have to carry it with you. So it's pretty cool. It kind of integrates with your iPhone, and you can do this kind of thing. Anyway, it's a freebie. Angus's favorite price, free
Freebie.
$99.
Free
Freebie.
90.
Anyway, it's a freebie. So Push Bullet app. Look it up, and you go down on iTunes and download it and put it on your machine. Very, very, very cool. I like it. So anyway, we have this segment. This is the first time you're going to do it. It's Scottish word of the day, a Scottish word of the week.
Okay.
So we have a Scottish word of the week, and you have to tell me what the definition is. All right? Just like, buenos.
Okay.
Anyway, this is greet. So someone in Scotland says greet. They're either saying, how you doing? Or they could be saying, how's it? Or they could be saying, stop crying. Anyway, what do you think it is there, lad?
I would say crying.
You got it! There you go, you're multilingual. You're very good.
Which is also synonymous with when they say gritos, when they're in Spanish, when they're yelling, ay, 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 that's gritos.
Gritos, is that crying too?
Right.
Oh, I did not know.
See, we're similar.
So, guess what? Now you're bilingual.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go, lad. You're wonderful.
Such a cunning linguist.
Oh, there we go again. Cut. Anyway, the show is going to move on, and we're going to bring the guest on. And anyway, like I say, everybody, every show, let your wing get free wherever you be. Aloha.
Oh, my man. Funny Angus. And here we have our good friend here.
How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for having
Derek
me.
Gabriel. Nice to have Derek
Appreciate
Gabriel
it.
in the house. Derek and I go back a long way. We've had some great interactions and time over working with government.
If the
and
walls
so-
could talk.
Yeah, oh, thank goodness they cannot. So Derek's been around for a while, and we got some great conversations. But we always have this first conversation we ask our guests and so on. And you, first of all, he made this smart Okoli comment about tech guys being bald and having
I was
beards.
look at it. I said, why bald?
Yeah,
Why are they bald and beards?
I know, because
So I'm not a tech guy.
Yeah, right.
Well, because the stress, we pull our hair out.
You can't grow grass on a busy street,
There you
just
go.
so you know that. So,
Don't be hating.
yeah, right. So anyway, so where did you go to school? Where did you go to school?
Well, I originally grew up in North Dakota. So,
North Dakota.
Yep,
Oh,
North
yeah.
Dakota, Bismarck. Born in Fargo, no jokes.
No way.
Yeah,
No.
you betcha.
You betcha.
Yeah, you
That'd
betcha.
be your accomplice in the wood chipper there, lad.
There, yes, many witch
Fargo.
days.
That movie was so
Oh, yeah.
good.
So is the TV series.
Oh, I've never seen the TV series.
It's good. You should
Oh,
watch
is it? Oh, okay.
I think it's on Hulu.
Oh, okay. I mean, so you grew up in or around Fargo.
Yep. Well, I was born in Fargo, but actually grew up in Bismarck,
Okay.
capital city. So
Wow.
then it was North Dakota, then Colorado. My father got transferred when I was younger, so
Okay.
kind of middle of the tier. And then I went back to North Dakota where I finished
When you finished
high school there.
high school there,
Yeah.
did you go to university?
No, I pretended to go to university.
A lot of tech guys do that too.
I
not a common
attempted.
theme.
I attempted.
Okay.
So far from what I had originally planned on doing. I wanted to go into broadcast journalism, maybe motion picture.
Okay.
No, didn't happen. I got into technology and
And there we go. So it's amazing we talk about this, right? It's like how many of these tech guys are bald and beards and never went to university. And there's especially when they got startup stuff and all that stuff going. So you went to school on the mainland, but how'd you end up in Hawaii?
so after .com, so I worked for a company during that time, and then after that, it was hard to get a job because they were like, "Well, you're overqualified, for everything that I wanted to do."
So wait, you're overqualified even though you didn't go to university, and you were working in the .com in California?
No, in Kansas actually. So I was in Wichita at the time.
So
yeah.
Did you know Wichita, Kansas was the tech capital of the world?
No, it's definitely not.
I cannot. I've been there, and no offense to people in Wichita, Kansas, and they're great people, but I've just never thought of them as a tech
No,
capital.
I worked for an amazing company. It was a printing company, and then they had some foresight, right? And so they're like, well, for a printing company, had a huge IT staff, and so what happened is we were developing apps internally for different projects, right? We were doing on-demand print. We were doing print customization before Vistaprint existed. Before any of the big companies had picked it up. So what happened is we did business cards or whatever, variable print. With big Xerox printers and stuff. And so they were like, well, we should spin this off into a tech company, the lawyer said, right? And so it got really interesting really fast. And of course, we all know what happened is...
Well, the bottom fell out. But think about, though, you just mentioned Vistaprint,
Yeah.
right? And you think like a lot of
I
us...
hear it all over the radio all the time.
Yeah.
Business
Yeah.
cards,
Cards.
5,000 business cards for something, whatever.
Yeah, right. And the banners, and I mean, well, look, and no plug for Vistaprint, but that's a Vistaprint hat. I mean, so that was very forward thinking. That's right at the beginning.
Yep.
And the company that ran the printing company had the foresight to try and do it internally.
Exactly. So and I'm certain they still use, something that exists of what we started,
Okay.
because variable print is so valuable, because a company can say, hey, these are our corporate standards, and then they can delegate ordering of business cards to like a new employee or something. So they can say, you just type your name or whatever, and it'll automatically come out looking the way the company wants it to.
Wow.
Yeah.
When I started with the sitting and counting of Honolulu, it took over 2 months to get my business card.
That's crazy.
I did my own.
Oh, typewriter?
A Vistaprint.
Okay.
Created my own, went to the internet, downloaded the logo,
Did
put it
you
on.
put a QR code on there?
Yeah, I could have. Yeah. And I had them in like 3 days, and I got my business cards. Wow, they've gotten really good down there. And then another 500 came, but
I'm surprised there weren't
months
union
later.
guys with pitchforks at your door.
Maybe. Well, they didn't know or care, for that matter. So anyway, that's kind of cool. So you did that.
Yep.
Then the .com busted, but I don't know why that would necessarily impact
Well,
that
so
company.
they did. I actually left.
Okay.
Weird story. We'll tell you about that over drinks.
Okay.
And so then I went to. I was in Kansas, but I was working with another company in Manhattan. I was living in Manhattan, Kansas, New York.
Okay.
And so I took that variable print knowledge I had. I was a PDF PostScript programmer, And so apparently, if you're a PostScript programmer, you work in two places. You either work for a company like Adobe, or you're in some kind of print production, or you're basically on your own and doing crazy stuff. So I started working for a company that was basically on Wall Street, more or less, in the financial district of New York, and I helped them develop customized documents that, like, whenever you do a 401k or whatever, you get that prospectus. So we were coming up with a way to make that all automated. So before, they'd query those back and forth, right? Because you had to get it approved by the FTC before you can give it to an investor.
Right, they go back and forth.
Exactly, back and forth.
The
Days,
guys on bicycles,
months.
or the guys in
And
cabs.
so you wanted to add a chart to that page, you had to cut it in and have a graphic designer lay it out. So we were automating that process through the internet.
Okay, wow.
And and so what happened is then after September 11th, that came to a crashing halt, right? And so, yeah, exactly. And then all of a sudden I found myself unemployed in Manhattan, Kansas. And
Not Manhattan, New York.
No, Manhattan, Kansas.
Did you know there's a Manhattan, Kansas? I did not know.
The Little Apple. So we're Kansas State.
Okay.
So yeah,
Oh.
exactly. So I was out there having a good old time, and that's in 2001-ish.
Okay.
Because it was around 2002 when I moved here.
Right. So
And,
2000, but why Hawaii? I mean,
so I was-
another great tech capital of the world.
Right.
And I
yeah,
do,
exactly.
And I do
well,
mean
that's
this.
on purpose though, because I said to myself, I was interviewing at ConAgra and Greeley, and I was also applying at Rackspace in Texas.
Oh, Texas, okay.
And so I was like, Texas, Colorado. And so I had a friend that was in the Army in Hawaii, and then I started thinking about it, and I was like, Hawaii, that's the farthest place from the Midwest, but I can still live in the United States.
Right.
So that won. So it wasn't about coming here for tech. It was about coming here to get as far away from the things that I had grown up with.
You can go to Guam.
I didn't know Guam existed back then.
You could have gone to Mexico and there's no wall.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I just think, well, he's Army too. So
Yeah.
you got a lot. So anyway, we haven't even talked about your business yet.
I know.
But we got a good sense of who you are and how you got to Hawaii. We call this now the poignant pause,
Okay.
where we take a little break, pay some bills, and then we come back and we talk about Ignite
Solutions.
Solutions. Okay, Ignite Solutions, and how you've gone from where you started to where you're starting.
To
All
start
right,
at 2.0.
we'll be back here with 2.0. We'll be back here with Derek.
This
in
ain't
just a few
Kansas,
minutes.
Dorothy.
Aloha, my name is Richard Emery, and I host Condo Insider. We talk about issues facing the condo association throughout Hawaii and talk about solutions. When you think about it, about 1/3 of our population lives in some form of common interest real estate. We broadcast every Thursday at 3 p.m. Please tune in and thank you. Aloha.
Aloha, namaskar, and hello. I am Anu Hittel, and I host a show on climate change. It's called Climate Change Beyond Outrage, and in it, we go beyond outrage to look at solutions to global climate problems facing people, nations, and the world. Join me every Tuesday at 1 o'clock Hawaii Standard Time. Aloha, namaskar, and goodbye.
Aloha! How you doing? Gordo the Texar here. I'm here with my good old buddy Papi Chulo.
How you doing?
And then we got Derek Gabriel in the house. Derek is I think you're like a great poster child for tech startup. I really think you've got.
Thank you. I
You've got
appreciate that a lot.
You've got that. You got the look, right? You're still
Many
young.
years practicing that
Many
look.
years, yeah. Many years, still young, and so on. So the first time I met you.
No, he's a funny guy.
Anyway, and you're not. So, why every time you're on the show it gets out of control?
I don't know.
I know. You're back next week too.
Assuming
Right?
it's in control in the first place.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, you're my guest. You're supposed to be nice to me. Anyway, so you started the first time I met you was at an entity called Box Jelly.
Yep.
And so, what was so do a little because we want to talk about your business, but what was Box Jelly, and why were you there? Because you moved to Hawaii to get as far as way you can from Kansas. And what did you just say, Dorothy? It's not Kansas.
Yeah, not
This ain't Kansas, Dorothy.
So anyway, so you get here and you're at Box Jelly when I run into you.
So Box Jelly is a co-working space, and they were one of the first ones in Hawaii. There was a couple with greenhouse on the other side, and it was kind of
Oh,
the epicenter there in Kaka'ako.
Right.
And so it was a community hub. There was a lot going on as far as connecting with other folks. And then
All tech related,
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you could rent a desk or a small space so that you could conduct your business without having that excessive overhead. So that was kind of instrumental in being able to grow a business from nothing.
So you went there, you made connections,
Yep.
and then you knew you were going to be in tech though, right? You
Yeah,
had,
oh,
you had
absolutely.
made that
Yeah.
decision.
By that time I had. I originally started my first business in Hawaii in 2005.
Okay.
So a few years after I'd gotten here. I worked I literally applied to an ad in the newspaper that said basically customer service. I was like, I want the job with the least amount of responsibility. And so, and that didn't, once you've been an independent contractor and used your brain for a little bit, it's hard to go back to some kind of corporate lifestyle.
Oh,
Yeah.
tell me about it. It is so tough.
Yeah.
So but you did work in the corporate space
Oh yeah,
for a little
oh
while.
yeah.
Well, you
Some
got to
big
pay
companies.
the bills.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's good. I moved out here not knowing anything. I thought, in my naivety, is like anything west of California was Asia.
Was
So
Asia.
I had no idea what Hawaii was
Well,
like.
so Papi Chulo came from Chicago, and he came here too, right? Chicago to Hawaii. He got arrested the first day he was here got a ticket first day he was here for jaywalking.
Do they give those out?
That was 42 years ago.
Yeah. So he got nailed
Got me
for
beat on that
jaywalking.
one.
So
Hopefully I'm still here in
Yeah.
20 more years.
20 more years. So you you got into the tech
Yep.
community.
Yep. And that was the epicenter, right? Being involved in those co-working spaces or those community hubs
Right.
allowed you to get involved with other people that, when you're young, I'm 38 now, I still
young.
consider myself
At my
young.
age, that's young.
But 3-4 years ago, not that I've changed thinking, but you have that idea that you can change the world, right? Like, and we've had this conversation many times, right?
Yes.
And that's kind of what we were doing. Is there's a bunch of like-minded folks, whether they're in university or before university even, or other entrepreneurs or creative individuals. And the idea is that, hey, I've got this great idea. Government sucks so bad because it's slow and it's bureaucratic. Like, perhaps we can inject this idea at some level and make a difference.
Yeah, and so you did that. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that a little
Okay.
bit, because that was a good time. That was a good time, I think, in what was happening here in the city and so on. So you really jumped onto the Code for America campaign. So tell us a little about what was happening in that space and where you saw and hoped things would go.
I think Code for America was the biggest synergy that we've had with government and the private young sector, right? The folks that are kind of the creatives and the visionaries. And you guys at the city had to apply for Code for America, and Forrest Frizzell was
Right, who's been on the show.
Yeah, he was instrumental with that, if I recall correctly. And so Code for America, being a large nonprofit, sends the fellows, and so there was two or three folks that came out,
Yeah, there's a
and
number.
their idea was to basically come in with this bright-eyed view of what technology could do for the city. And you guys mentioned open source earlier, and that's one of the big things that they do. Is so open source means that the source code for whatever I've developed from a software standpoint is open, free, and available, right? There's obviously some restrictions, but
Right.
so one example of that was Code for America took adopt a fire hydrant app from Boston where it snows, right? So they have to shovel out the fire hydrant, make sure it's accessible, and we turned that into adopt a tsunami siren, and that still functions today. So you get an email before the first test every month that says, hey, don't listen to your siren, and you click a little button that says, yeah, my siren went off, I heard it, or I didn't hear it, and then that gets sent back to the city so they can go examine those tsunami sirens.
So totally developed for no cost to
No
the
cost to the
government,
city.
No cost to the city.
Yep.
Totally developed. Took one that was done for Boston.
Exactly.
And brought
Repurposed
forward.
it, so it
Repurposed
saved a little time.
Saved time,
Yep.
money, got it right, and it's up and running.
And imagine that technically we're saving lives at
We're
some point.
saving lives
because
because-
if we do have, knock on wood, a natural disaster,
Yeah.
all those sirens are going to work thanks to the
Right,
folks
because the
that program.
sirens break down, the salt air rusts them out.
Bird nest,
Mongoose.
Copper gets borrowed.
borrowed.
Both
Yep.
borrowed copper, those kinds of things happen. So it was a way to create that. So
Yep.
so that really got some energy going,
Exactly.
right? And there were some other things.
And
that
we felt
happened.
like we could change, we could do anything,
Oh,
right?
I remember.
The administration was so welcoming to the idea of having folks doing things that made a difference.
Yeah, so
and there's
Mufi-
ownership that was developed.
Mufi or Pete or whatever, either one of them, love them or hate them, they welcomed this stuff with open arms because
Exactly.
they believed they couldn't sit and wait back for the bureaucrats
Yep.
to go and get get this stuff done.
I remember at that point, the funnest thing that I had done was I rode a bus with Carlisle, when they launched the bus app,
Right.
and that came out of the Open Data Initiative, which was another thing that was happening all during that time.
Right.
And so, there was a bus app that was launched, and we had a big party. Everyone rode the bus down, and we had a little...
Went down to Kaka'ako and did all the thing down there. Yep. It was called Da Bus app.
Da Bus.
Which
It's
is
still there.
around.
Yeah.
So
and that was created by what I believe is an employee at the bus, and did it on his free time.
Actually, it was two employees of the Department of Information Technology on their own time.
Okay.
Went out on their own time.
Yeah, I knew it
and
was on their
wrote
own
that-
time,
yeah,
but I wasn't
right.
sure where they're employees of. Yeah.
Yeah, and they went and did that. And
Yeah.
that one, again, but it's...
But could have never been done without the administration saying, hey, we'd like you to tinker, and the open data where we're saying, hey, we're going to allow public to access our data.
Right, and that was, and I'll tell you the story. I don't know if you've told this story before, but, so when we went to try and get that bus data, the bus wouldn't give us the data.
Wow.
And so, and I'm
They probably consider it proprietary.
Yeah,
at
well,
some
they tell
point.
you can't have this data. And so I'm sitting in a meeting, and I'm a bureaucrat at that time, saying, well, why can't you give us the bus data? And they said, well, because we're not always on time. No, wait a minute. Okay, hang on a sec. The purpose of this app is to help us who are taking the bus to know whether you're on time or not.
Exactly.
And those kinds of things. And I said, but by the way, what is your on-time schedule? Oh, we're one of the best in the nation, 97% of the time. I said, okay, wait, 97% of the time you're on schedule. And you don't want to give me this data because 3% of the time you're not on schedule. Duh, we all know that. So that we can help for that 3%, make it a little bit easier for everybody. And they went, oh, that's not a bad idea. And so we got the data, and then the bus app.
Yep,
It was
we're
a
up on
result of that.
And I think there's other startup technologies that exist, because I think has built some like electronic signs
Yep.
that go in bus stops or something over
Yeah,
the years.
and
so,
again,
yeah.
again, letting the public do what they do
Yep.
best, and because they like to do it. So there was that, and then there was what was that web app, that website? Oh,
Answers?
Honolulu Answers.
Honolulu Answers,
So
yep.
whatever happened to that one? That was a great idea.
I
came
love
up-
that one
yeah.
because that tickled my journalistic roots, right? We got to do a lot of writing. So the idea was, if I need something in the city, what do? You turn to your neighbor, your friend, and say, hey, I got to get a license for a bike. Where do I go?
Yeah, a permit or
So
whatever.
I guess the challenge at the city is that people call up, there's an 800 number or whatever, right? And they call up, and so there's a customer service center somewhere that has to answer these same questions over and over.
Over and over.
So they said, what if we use technology and we can write these answers that would be like you're talking to your buddy or your neighbor? And so we had everything: how do I register a boat, where do I get a camping permit, all this stuff on this website. And I think the challenge with that was that took a lot of management. So when we had the fellow here, she did a really good job of managing that site, but as soon as it ended, there was no one at the city that had ownership of that.
And that was it.
And so it died,
It died.
unfortunately.
It died. And it was
Withered
too
on the
bad.
vine. Yeah, it was.
And a good example is that when you come to Hawaii and you want to get a driver's license, where do you go? There is no DMV.
No.
No, well, satellite city halls.
Satellite City
But
Hall.
who
would
has
know?
that?
Who would know to go to Satellite City Hall? Would
Really?
you?
Yeah, exactly. You'd have to ask somebody.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that was the whole intent on this, is to
Yeah.
do that.
Which
So,
is
so you
smart.
did all of that, and then and you were kind of naive back in those days.
I think I still am a little bit.
I mean, and I love it. I love it. It's because of that naivete that
Yeah.
you come in and you go like, we can
Every
change-
entrepreneur has to be.
You've gotta change
You
the
have
world.
to wake up and go like, I think I still can.
Yes.
You know,
It's
because
the-
as soon as you stop believing that you can do it, there's no point in continuing.
So you kept going. So
Yep.
you kept going, and so now so let's talk about what you do. Ignite
Solutions.
Solutions. I'm going to get this right. I'm sorry.
Eventually.
Ah, yes. Ignite Solutions. And so what is Ignite Solutions, and what possessed you to get to this next level?
So the original business I had, we did infrastructure management, so servers, networks, all the basic boring IT stuff.
Okay.
I saw early on that the cloud was this next big opportunity.
Okay.
And so Ignite Solutions was originally founded, co-founder and I, in 2014. And so it was our opportunity to take what we knew about the cloud and the huge advantages that it brings to smaller and medium businesses. So, for example, corporations or governments have the tons of money to afford that huge infrastructure. And so in the past, we were selling, like a small business server and desktops to a company of 20 people, and it cost 20 grand.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Exactly.
It's $1,000
and now,
a head.
that same technology is available for $20 a person per
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
So seeing that change was coming, it made sense that someone needed to be there doing that. And I mean, we're in this period now, many years after, where there's still the challenge that the bigger legacy companies that do provide technical services don't quite believe still, for whatever reason, in the cloud as the future. And so being able to be nimble and starting from scratch, we were able to embrace that 100%.
So you think, so correct me if I make this wrong. So if you're a doctor's office, small attorney's office, dentist office, or any of these, retailer or whatever, you have to have things like email,
Yep.
all of those kinds of things. And rather than you having to stand up your own servers, make sure you got backups, make sure you got all the security in it, go to the cloud, and you can help them get to that cloud and manage all of that.
Exactly. Yep, we're a huge Microsoft partner, so we work with Microsoft with Azure and Office 365.
Okay.
And to your thing with the DOJ, Microsoft proactively sued them because they want people to realize, like, hey, Microsoft is serious about your security.
Right.
So we want to prove that we believe in the customer, and we're going to go to bat for you. And so that's what that was about.
Now, are you still finding, even in the small business segment side, that people still want to hug their servers?
I love that you brought that up. On the IT side of it, we do, but not
Yeah.
so. It's the paradigm has shifted
True.
so much, and I love it. So business is now driving the business decisions, right?
Right.
We're not having the conversations necessarily with the CTOs
With
and
the
the
IT
IT staff,
yeah.
because the IT guys are actually kind of scared of it still, because they're the ones afraid they're going to lose their job.
Yeah.
If I don't have to manage the server and my title is server manager, what's going to happen, right?
Right.
So instead of they don't have the luxury of being necessarily as proactive as us as independent professionals do, right? So we can go out and we can learn new stuff, and we can be like, I'm going to take a week off to do some training, and I'm going to learn cloud real good. Instead, these guys are fighting in the trenches. So, but the business decision makers are now saying, I want to be able to implement this because I know that this is faster, better, more efficient, whatever, more secure. And so they're sidestepping IT, and they're coming to partners like us, and they're mandating to their companies, say, we need to implement this. So that's the big challenge. We're going in and we're helping the folks that are the incumbents, and we're saying, look, let's help you make this transition, because we're always going to need IT people. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's not going to change.
Well, I know, like Queens, I was talking to one of the senior execs at Queens, they've got 90 vacancies over at Queens right now, 90. The state has 80.
That's crazy.
So there's you do the math, almost a couple hundred spots right there, and plus the companies that I know in town that are looking for IT people. But if you look at it this way from the cloud perspective, you can be agile.
Yes.
Right? Now you've gone beyond being just the entrepreneur guy. You have employees.
Yes. I am actually right in the process of hiring. It's super exciting. We just brought on a new client. While we're in the process of bringing on a new client, nothing's inked yet, so don't want to talk too much about it. But that is enough bump in revenue that now, as a small entrepreneur, I can hire another employee and grow this to the next level.
Which is my whole argument. This is grassroots level. This is, we do not need government, right? We do not need
no
government.
handout.
No handout. You've not gone for a grant.
Yep,
You're not gone to the startup grants, and we've got all of our conversations about those too. So I mean, you've gone out and you've leveraged your ability and your time and your effort to create
A lot of sweat,
right?
lot of sweat.
And to bring this, and now you're going to be an employer, and you're going to bring some tech resources in.
Yep.
This is what I've been saying all along and why we do Hibachi Talk.
Yep.
This is how we can make it happen here.
Exactly. Yep.
It's people like you. So how do people find out about your company?
We're online at ignitetheday.com.
Ignite the Day?
Yep.
Ooh.
That was, when we were starting it, my co-founder and I, there was actually a really good story about it. It's a little longer, so I know we don't have time
and
for
we're
it.
getting
But
low on time.
Yeah,
so.
no, we were looking for domains. And starting a business now, you got to be online. You're like, I need a domain. And so there's that weird challenge that comes looking for domains.
All right, cool. So anyway, we got couple minutes. We do this thing called Potholes in Paradise.
Oh, nice.
So I went golfing yesterday. So I'm always trying to come up with new ways to come up. Look at this. What if we not turn them into
Putting greens.
Putting spots, right?
That's awesome.
We could do an 18 course around the roads.
We could do one in Chinatown.
Yeah, we can do China. We can. We're doing. We got 18 holes. We got 18 holes in Chinatown, and we can circle them and just go and play. Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be hilarious.
And we booked this. We booked the street. We booked the street, and we got a street closure permit for golf. And we used
Why not?
potholes.
We have block party.
We got block parties. Perfect. Anyway, so again, ignitetheday.com.
Correct. Yep.
Find out more, and we got to have you on the show again.
I'd love to come
it's
back.
great to see you start at
been awesome
Jelly
to be here.
and grow up and so on. So anyway, we had Derek Gabriel's been on the show. Thank you so much. Puppy Chulo, thanks for covering again your color commentary. I like that.
Well, you know who he reminds me of?
Who?
A young Neil Abercrombie without hair.
Without hair. Well, okay, that's another story. Anyway, none of our guests go away empty-handed. You have an autographed solo cup.
Sweet.
This is sweet, number 67 in the series.
Number 67.
We follow these, so if I see this
Okay.
on eBay, you're in trouble.
I will hold it cherish it with pride.
There you go.
And that has a mustache on it. That's a mustache and a tongue.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So anyway, we're getting ready to end the show, and we have a standard thing we say at the end of every show when people are going. So Zuri and Nick, thank you so much. And as we say to all of you at the end of every show, 1, 2, 3, how you doing?